we are making a veggie burger. But before we make the veggie burger, we are going to make the side dishes for that. And I'm going to wait until some people that have been around for a while show up, because we've got some fun things to talk about. As far as the bunny saga, if you've been following along. So if you are hanging out with us with the veggie burgers, please give me a thumbs up or a hi or something like that, just so I know that somebody's there. And until then, I'm going to be cutting some Brussels sprouts, and any of the leaves that fall off of these Brussels, we will put out for the bunnies. So, or their mama, whoever happens to need them. But we're not going to put out these little nasty business things. So, hey, Chrissy, how are ya? Happy Friday. Pardon the noise in the background. My dogs have to go out front. Because the little stinkers, really one of them, the bunnies were out, and my husband came home from work, and he's not used to having to worry about it, and the dogs got out, and the bunnies were scared, and it was a mess and a half. So anyway, the dogs need to go outside, and my husband just got back from running errands. So anyway, so the bunnies are big enough to hop around. That's a good thing. But one of the bunnies has a bad set of back legs. So I'm not sure that bunny's going to make it. So I called my sister-in-law, and she's like, well, you can call the rescue, but I think they're all like full up right now, which is a bummer. So we will see how that goes. But the thing is, they went and hid behind one of my gardens, and I don't know if we can get them out, and hopefully they can get themselves out. That's the big concern. But right now I'm cutting some Brussels sprouts in half. We're going to have some Brussels sprouts to go with our veggie burgers. My family is quite skeptical about the veggie burgers because I've never made them before. So I'm going to do my best to make them very flavorful. And I bought these Brussels almost a week ago, and God love Costco. Their produce lasts a while. So, but I'm like collecting up all of the leaves, because that was one of the things my sister-in-law said. She's like, now that they're getting older, if they're active, you'll want to put some leafy greens out if you've got them. So speaking of leafy greens, I had something wonderful happen, by the way. I got to harvest some turnips yesterday. So, nope, not giving up. But, where is it? Oh, here it is. Look at the size of that turnip. Isn't that awesome? This was one of 3. And so we had, I don't know if you ever do like string beans, ham, and some people do potatoes and stuff. Well, instead of string beans, we did turnips. And then we put some potatoes in with it, and basically made it just like a string beans and ham kind of meal. And it was so good. We even put the greens in, which I've never had turnip greens. So yeah, I was kind of excited about the whole thing. I mean, I grew them, right? So that was very exciting. It was just kind of a special thing. So anyway, I was very excited about about harvesting the turnips. And then I think I'm going to get some peas here in the next day or two. And I know I've got at least one more radish, one of the French radishes that's about ready to pull up. And so I've been looking up recipes, so I might be making that as a side dish. But yeah, it is pretty. I was like, this is so cool. So anyway, but I knew the greens wouldn't last, so I went ahead and cut those off. But yeah, I was pretty excited about the whole thing. So, and I transplanted a bunch of stuff, and it's in that phase where it just looks horrible. You know, it looks like it's gonna bite the dust. And I'm hoping they'll do what the other turnips did, that I had to relocate and start rerooting themselves. So I transplanted some tomatoes yesterday, and um, what else? Tomatoes, some pumpkin vines, a couple different kinds of squash in my new garden. I finally got to put some more stuff in there. So, because a bunch of stuff had not made it. I planted it all right before the last frost, and thinking we weren't going to have another frost, and we did. So, but that's part of gardening. You lose some of it. You lose some of it to critters. You lose some of it to weather. It's just the nature of gardening. So not everything thrives. So that's what I have to keep telling myself about that baby bunny, because it makes me want to cry, because it's so cute and it's so little, and I just want it to be okay. But odds are it's not going to be okay, according to my sister-in-law, and I guess I kind of knew that already. But what can you do? You just do your best. And nature is nature. Nature is going to nature, you know? So, anyway. Anybody got great plans for the weekend? I do. I get to go watch my granddaughter in her dance recital. I'm so excited. So, she's getting to be quite the young lady. I say that, but like, she's 7, okay? That's Nana grown up talk, you know? She's so grown up. She's like, Nana, I'm 7. I'm like, I know, but anyway. So, that's going to be my big thing for the weekend. And now Mr. 513 went on his summer hours this week, so we might have to adjust on Fridays and start a little bit later, because he gets home around noon, and typically we actually go to the grocery together. He likes going to the grocery. We actually used to use it as kind of a date night when we were young and quite poor, and so we still go to the grocery store together a lot of times. So it's a social time for us. And we usually do that on Friday afternoons when he's on summer hours. So we might end up moving to like 4 o'clock, just about a half an hour later. I think that would be plenty. But anyway, but that also requires that I get my grocery list ready for all of the videos next week. And I'm kind of excited about some of the stuff we're going to make. We're going to make a pasta dish, which with and Christy, don't kill me, but we're not going to pre-cook the pasta. Of course, it's not regular pasta either. It's chickpea pasta, so which is gluten-free. Some of these not so great leaves might be fine for the bunnies, but yes, and I feel like I'm feeding the neighborhood, not just the humans, but the animals too these days. So, but and once the tomatoes come in, that's when the squirrels show up. They love tomatoes. They will definitely avail themselves of at least a few of them, which again, I don't mind sharing. Just leave me some. They aggravate me when they take like 5 or 6 of them and they take one bite out of each. I'm like, hello, save some for the humans. Anyway, so all right, I'm getting there, guys. I started before I even got on here because I knew this was going to take a while. Brussels take a while to cut those dark ends off of, and then I'm having them so that I can put some bacon on top, and then I've got some papers on the bottom that will help absorb the there will be some grease because I'm going to use some cut up bacon, which is one of my favorite things to do for Brussels. So I have, there's another local creator and I follow her, and I guess she made some Brussels sprouts and she had like leaves that fell off like this as well. And some guy was like, if you worked for a restaurant, you would be fired. And she's like, well, good thing I don't work. I work for myself. So, hi, Rosalinda. Welcome in. We are making a veggie burger, but first we're going to get some Brussels sprouts into the oven. So, we will get those started. I had to clean my oven. We burnt something. I think it was cheese. It smelled like burnt cheese. So, I cleaned that this afternoon. See, you guys make me do all these things. I have to stay clean and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, so that's that. Those will go out to the bunnies or their mama or whoever needs it. And then there's the bacon. Nope, that's not the bacon. Where'd it go? Hey, IT guy, I don't know where the bacon is. I think you're going to have to get it out of the fridge for me. He's upstairs with the dogs right now. So, okay, while I'm waiting on IT guy. Oh, he's right there. Never mind. Can you check for me, please? It would be on the right side. I left it in there. Figures. Thank you, dear. All right. So we've got we'll work on this too today a little bit. It's right to the top there. We got to take some out today. And then either today or tomorrow, I'm going to try my first, discard recipe. So we'll see how that goes. Fortunately, I've got a really nice recipe where I can just check off each day as I do it. So I know that I've done it. And we'll see how it works out. I gotta peek ahead because a lot of gluten-free sourdough or a lot of gluten-free bread recipes, I guess I should say, have psyllium seed husk in them. And you can't get that around here. From what I've found, it's really something that you have to order, unfortunate as it is. So, all right, this is actually still partially frozen, which when I'm going to make a dish like this, I prefer it that way because I'm going to dice it up. And then I'm going to throw this in the regular garbage here real quick. So, apologies for stepping out of camera. And then put my little gloves on. I think I'm just going to put one on for now because I am actually going to need, I'll do both. Well, I'll just get another pair, but I want a big knife for this one. So, like I said, I'm not a vegetarian. I'm not a vegan. And it's interesting. I've always said I'm an aspiring vegan because, I'd love to not eat animals, but at the same time, I've got a body that craves protein, and I know you can get a lot of plant protein, but it's never enough. It's hard to explain, and during Lent, my husband was raised Catholic, so during Lent we typically have Friday where we will have fish or we'll have something, vegetarian, but I'm hungry all day if I don't get some protein. So I will get it from dairy if I can, but some things I just make an exception. And Brussels sprouts with bacon on top, that's one of my exceptions. And it makes my family very happy as well. So, and I agree with you, Christy. Brussels are definitely worth the work. So, and the thing is, I always make when I make vegetables for dinner, I always make more than I need because, like, even today, I had some soup for lunch, and then the turnips that I made yesterday, I had a bowl of those as well. So, just to fill up on and have some extra veggies. So, I'm gonna season up these Brussels. Normally, I would put a little oil on there, but since I'm gonna put the bacon on there uncooked, I'm not gonna worry about it. It will render enough that I won't have to worry about it. And we've got some garlic, because, you know, garlic. I was telling a story the other day. I have a friend whose daughter is engaged, and her husband, to be, cannot eat garlic or onions. I can't imagine what that would be like for cooking. I'd be like, oh my God. And she said, I already make 2 meals because she said she's got a real picky child, adult child. But she's like, so I've always made a couple of different, couple of different options. Like, here's the one with this, here's the one without this. And I'm like, you are so accommodating. But so she's like, I guess I'll just make a third option. Like, you're awesome. So if that makes you happy, and she does, she cooks every day, so it's not a big deal for her. So speaking of cooking every day, I heard the most interesting statistic. I follow a doctor who is an expert in Alzheimer's and dementia, and here's some news. People who cook at least one night a week, make a homemade dinner from scratch, reduce their Alzheimer's chances by 30%, which is pretty cool. But here's the one that really got me. And he's like, this is the thing that surprised all the researchers, is he said, people who aren't good at cooking actually get more benefit from cooking one homemade from scratch meal a week, because you are physical, you are mental, and you have to if you're especially if you're a bad cook, you have to follow a recipe, which means you're using your cognitive abilities, and you have to think about timing, you have to think about how long to cook things. They said, so actually cooking is a very beneficial thing for your brain. So there you go. If you cook, whether you cook well or badly, it is good for your brain and reduces your chance of Alzheimer's. So there you go. I learned something new today, and so did you. But let's see here. I think I've got this pretty well spread out. I'm pretty happy with that. All right, I think everybody's going to get a little dose of bacon. So, all right. Go ahead and take that off. Biodegradable, by the way, if you're somebody who hasn't been around. So there's the Brussels. Don't they look gorgeous? All right, we're going to flip that one up. I cook my bacon in the oven. I don't know about you guys, but I do cook in the oven. All right, we're going to put this on, I think we're going to do 375. I'm going to go ahead and just do oops, that's not what I want. I'm going to do bake, and I'm going to do 375 for, I'm going to do 25 minutes for now. We'll see how that goes. Okay, now I'm going to make the burgers in my my Cuisinart, but there's a lot to go in there, so I want to make sure I don't forget anything. Now, the recipe called for black beans. I do not have black beans. They're there. Where are the beans? I have kidney beans, so that's what we're going to use today. I figured that would look better than like cannellini beans. I don't need a white. I don't know. I think it looks meatier if it's got the red on it. So there you go, Christy. You got a healthy brain. Love it. And there's so many things you can cook from scratch that are not hard. Um, one of my favorite things to teach people is how to make egg drop soup, because they're like, that's so hard. I'm like, no, it's really not. So as long as you, and it doesn't have to be, it may not be those beautiful little ribbons they get at the Chinese restaurant, but you can make an easy egg drop soup, which is also very economical. You know, a couple of eggs, maybe 2 or 3, and some chicken broth. And if you like, some uh, green onions. Ow. So, hot water. We're going to turn that a little cooler. We're going to rinse them. Actually, I'm going to do that. Nope, we're not going over like that. Did anyway, didn't you? Yeah, weasels. Be nice. Yes, I talked to my food. All right. Rinse that off. Rinse these guys off. Don't you do it. All right. Yes, my sink is clean, people. I promise you. So, all right. So, into the food processor goes the kitty beans. We'll rinse that off. Put that in. Put that in recycle later, she says. I got some baby corn. We're going to make 2 corn dishes next week. One is like an elote dip, and one is a corn and pasta thing. This I'm going to need about, I don't know, maybe half a cup to a cup. I'm going to start with about half a cup. I think that'll be good. Just trying to build some flavors. So, yeah, my brain should be very healthy too, Chrissy, for the amount of cooking that I do. And I was laughing yesterday because like, I don't have to cook. Yay! And then I ended up cooking anyway. Because I wanted to see what I could do with those turnips. So I'm just chunking everything up. The thing has to be like super small because it's all going to get chunked up in there anyway. So, and I could have cooked up the onions, carrots, and celery. Maybe I should have. But you know what? Because I'm not, I'm going to skip the carrots. So, onions. I forget to talk to you guys sometimes when I'm doing stuff like that because I'm working with a knife. So I like, gotta concentrate. But forgot I don't have to make it as, I can make it a little chunkier than I normally do because I'm going to chunk it up some more. You know, I think I'm just going to do half an onion. I don't think I need a whole onion for that. Maybe I'll do some sauteed onions to go on top of the burger. Hopefully Mr. 513 will be a little more amenable if I do that. Okay, so there's that. And then time to spice it up. Let me wash my hand here. Okay. Oh, dogs are getting wild up there. Gonna put a little cumin in there. This is one of those, let the ancestors tell you what to do. A little bit of garlic. Could have put fresh garlic in there. I'm going to use a little bit of powder this time. A little bit of onion powder because it tastes different than raw onion itself. Little pepper. And then IT guy's doing pretty well. IT guy went out to a movie with a bunch of his friends. It's so funny because the younger generation, they're all gamers. He's a gamer, and all of his friends are gamers, and so they all went to a movie together, and then, or a bunch of them did. A bunch of them went to a movie. That was ketchup, just in case you needed to know, and Worcestershire sauce because burgers. But and then this is going to be my secret ingredient. I have this. There is a gluten-free. There's a little symbol right down there. So this Goodman's is a gluten-free onion soup mix. I'm not used to it before, so we're going to find out if it's any good. Smells like onion soup mix. So there you go. We're going to pop that in there. That's why I'm not going to add any salt because I'm guessing there will be plenty. As a matter of fact, let's see here. Oh, yeah, for sure. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of salt in there. I probably shouldn't have put all that in there. Oh, well. These might be salty, but might be too salty for us. We'll see. So I'm going to pulse this a little bit. Oh, I forgot something. This is a spice grinder. This is flax meal. It's a half a tablespoon of flax seeds. Flax seeds have all kinds of nutrients in them. They also are a great binder. So I'm going to do that. But I also have an egg, so I'm going to do that as well. Get that down in there. Hopefully that will do. I'm just going to turn that on, and then I'm going to go rinse my hands because I got some egg on it. That's soupy. Yeah, that's too soupy. What are we going to do? You know what? I've got a little bit of gluten-free flour here. Let's do that. Wind them up a little bit. A lot of the recipes that I saw for burgers actually suggested that you put a little bit of now in their case they said flour, but we will go gluten-free as always. So let's go ahead and scrape down the side on that one. This is not looking good, y'all. It's very mushy. Okay, we are going to let that sit for a few minutes because, again, if we're going to hydrate the flour, sometimes that takes a while. So this is something I bought because I started making my own chai blend for a while, and I've used that thing so many times now. It's one of those things. one of those things you didn't really know you needed, and now that you've got it, you're really happy you have it. That's what that is for me. So, okay. Too many wet ingredients, I think, but we're going to try it anyway. We're going to see what happens. It might come out like pancakes. Who knows? And again, for anybody who's new here, I do these things. I don't try a lot of things out before I pop them on here, because here's the thing: we all try new things, and sometimes they work, and sometimes they don't. And I want you to see that it's not a problem if it doesn't work. You just move on with your life. So, or try something different, or add something to it. I've had things where they weren't going really well. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So yeah. Actually, what my husband was like, he's like, "Can you just go get Impossible meat or something?" I'm like, "No, it's full of salt." So, which both of us need to watch. So, while we're letting that sit, and before I set up for the pan and stuff, I'm gonna go ahead and do the sourdough starter. We are on day 5, so I need to grab my. One of these days, I'll remember that I need my scale. So I've got my scale here. And actually, I don't need the scale. Duh. Because I need 2 ounces out of here. I'm going to rinse this off because, well, we'll just use a different one because I do not want to contaminate. So this is the discard from yesterday. So I'm going to add to this. Yesterday I had to discard 4 ounces. So today we're going to discard 2. But it is getting all fluffy like it's supposed to. So about 5. Take a little bit more out of there. I was really worried because yesterday I wasn't supposed to take anything out of there. And I was like, I don't know if this is going to work. I was afraid it was going to go over. But you also, sounds like, you also stir it down. So a lot of those bubbles go away. So 2 ounces gone. And then, interesting, today they want it 55-degree water? Nah, it's got to be 85 again, right? Well, let's see what we've got. I did it earlier, so hopefully it's cooled down enough. It's still over 80 degrees. Of course, it's probably over 80 degrees in this room, to be honest. But it's at 88. I'm just curious. It's going back down. Oh, actually in the 70s. So there you go. The fan is doing its job. So we need 4 ounces of flour, which both weight and volume-wise is a half a cup, just so you know. Stand back up here. And my husband's like, why don't you just throw it away? I said, but as much as this flour costs, we are not throwing away those discards because there's all kinds of recipes you can use them for. So yay for that. All right. Okay. So we add this in. Hey, IT guy. I need my funnel, please. The funnel. It was turned upside down. So, all right. So we're going to pop that in there. So so we don't get it all over the place, because it would have gone all over the place. All right, I'll wash that off. And then we've got our water. Oh yeah, we never named the starter. Oh, I got twice as much as I need, so that wouldn't be good. I would kill it. I need 4 ounces, not 8. This is why we read the recipes when we're not familiar. Okay, so there's 4 ounces of water. I'm going to put that in there. And then we are to stir it until it is completely combined. So that's how you knock all those bubbles out again. So you scrape down the sides and you make sure it's all fully incorporated. So we'll have days 6 and 7 while we're over the weekend. And then on day 8, I guess we can start the baking process, but there's stuff I have to do, so we'll see if I have time to do that on Sunday. And maybe we will be making our first batch of gluten-free sourdough next Monday. Wouldn't that be fun? So that would work, because we're making a pasta dish. So it'd be nice to have some nice bread. Now, everything I've read also says you need to let it cool fully. But I think what I might do with that being the case is I might make small bouillets. So then I'm going to take this starter and just kind of mix everything together. Hopefully it doesn't kill the starter, but if it does, it does. So we're not feeding it, so it's not going to get bigger, but we're incorporating. So these guys go in the sink, and then we cover these lovelies back up. That one goes to the side where it always does, and so does this one until I can use it. I might try to make some chocolate chip cookies with a discard recipe that I have. So let's see. How does this look between the flax seeds and the... No, it's still pretty juicy. All right, we're going to try putting one on the hob, as they say. I'm going to keep this out in case we need to fix... Oh, yeah, sourdough starter. See, this is IT guy, man. He keeps me on track. But we did not name the starter, which a couple of you said we needed to do. However, the only name that we came up with was, we've been watching The West Wing, and so the only name that was submitted by my family was The Yeast Wing, which I think is a little weird. But if you guys have a suggestion for what we're going to name that starter, we are open to all suggestions at this point. I'm going to grab my cooktop here. I'm going to move this guy over here. I do not have high hopes for this, people. I have a feeling this is going to spark a debate. All right. Let's see here. I think I'm going to go non-stick. I think that's imperative. I think the 800 is... Might have to go 600 for it to be a medium. So, next question is, to oil or not to oil? That is the question. I'm going to get out a scoop. I know this is not what the other ones look like, so like I said, I do not have high hopes for this. So I think maybe I better stay away from the idea of putting oil in there. I'm not sure if that's going to help. I'm getting a from IT guy. So all right, let's scoop one out. We're gonna do a slider version, I think. We'll call it second scoop because that's like way too small to even decide whether it's gonna have any form or function to it. All right, there's that. So one itty bitty burger. Pull out a. While we're waiting, I'm gonna pull out a paper plate. Look at that! I got enough for the family. Will you give me the Parmesan cheese out? Because I'm gonna put that on the Brussels as well. Because why not, right? Well, I thought I had 3. Maybe I only have 2. Oh well. Okay, I think I need to turn this up just a tad. We're not cooking. Ooh, getting low on the Parmesan. We've had this discussion before. There's one little bit of mold, tiny bit of mold in there. And I grew up in the era where you cut the mold off and you keep going. I'm going to get that little bit out. It's like on one strand. So I'll get all the strands around it, make sure there's no more. No more. Parmesan is one of those you're like, oh, it's too expensive. Food in any capacity is too expensive these days. So let's see here. I think I'm going to try the bigger one. I don't know that this is. No, it is not ready. Probably should have done this in a smaller pan. But it is definitely not ready to flip. Okay. All right. I was trying to remember what all we're going to cook next week to tell you guys, give you a little preview. Actually, if you want a preview, you can always go to our website and sign up for our email list. I always list, if I know what we're going to put up on Thursday. I don't always know what we're going to put up on Thursday, and we didn't put one up this week, but like I said, Bev, I was one of those people that grew up with that's not what you do. So, and besides, we eat things like blue cheese that is moldy. So, I wouldn't serve that to guests, but for my own family, nobody really cares. So, and it rarely happens. I mean, if you saw the size of the little tiny piece, it was literally on one piece of shredded mozzarella. So, kind of work around the edges here so it doesn't get like stuck or anything. I'm hoping. Ooh, nope. Interesting. Okay. I'm not optimistic, y'all. Oh, what am I going to do with this? How do I save it? Let's see. All right, either IT guy or Mr. 513. Look up what to do if your veggie burgers are too mushy or too wet, one or the other. So we got to figure this out. A little thick in the middle. I'm going to try to thin it out, see if maybe I can get it to cook a little more. When you've been cooking for a long time, sometimes you know what to do. Like I said, this is something I've never really even attempted before, so I don't really know what to do with this veggie burger. So, because if I try to flip this thing now, nope, no way, no how. What I might have to do, if that's the case, let's see if our bacon is cooked. I think we could probably do another, let's go for another 7 minutes. And make it 6. So we'll see how that does. Yeah, it's got no structure to it, you know? And unlike a pancake, it doesn't bubble up. I can't get my spatula really underneath it very well. Oh, there we go. Starting to. Oh, overcooked on the bottom. Yeah, I added some. I guess I could add some more. So, yeah, that would give it some more structure too. Well, what do you want? Do you want the flour? Do you want the oatmeal? Or should I just go flour? Okay. I already put some in, but whew, it smells terrible. There's a stuff that's in there that's burning. So we're gonna have to take that off the heat. Okay, so attempt number 1, we're gonna call a fail. But if you remember, we didn't do so hot with the crepes either when we started. So, and we got better. So that's what it looks like on the bottom, or the original bottom. It's not quite done on the top. So yes, it just basically looks like refried beans, to be honest. Looks like I tried to cook refried beans. So we're going to take this off of here. And will you just, no, I'm just, well, if it wipes off, great. If it doesn't, I'll use the other one. But we will turn that on, put some more flour in it. Doesn't look much better, to be honest. So, yeah, usually my meatloaf, I could probably make like a loaf out of that, to be honest. And it's something I could probably cook in the oven if I wanted, but I've got egg in there. The flax is a binder. The flour is a binder. The only thing I don't have in there is breadcrumbs. Do we have any gluten-free breadcrumbs? Would you look, please? They'd be on the top shelf of the pantry. We always have breadcrumbs. We just don't always have gluten-free breadcrumbs. And the reason we don't always have gluten-free breadcrumbs is because they go bad. And when they go bad, they're terrible. So, bring me the oats. We'll put some of the oats in there, see if that'll give it some structure. We might have some breadcrumbs on the left-hand side, although I think I used them all. On the left-hand side of the next shelf down. Gluten-free oats, by the way. No, that's chicken broth. Chicken stock. Ooh, that is hot. But, oh, no, I don't want cornmeal. That'll make them gritty. All right, so let's try this with some oats in it. We might have to try this one again, just because. And again, it might be a fail. Who knows? All right. I'm going to grab that pan back. And I think this time I might try some oil, see if that helps. So, whew, that was so warm. Making me sweat. Anyway. Yeah, see, usually with meat, that's what you do. Not mad about the flavor. The flavor's good. Just the texture's all wrong. So, actually tastes a little like meatloaf, Christy. You're going to tell me to do that? Are you nuts? No, they're seeds, right? I know. Okay. I gotta tell you, y'all, flavor is not terrible on this. Here, take a bite, see what you think. Don't look so scared. Husband of mine. IT guys probably upstairs going, haha, better you than me. It's not too salty. It is a bit salty. He'll tell me if it's too salty. I don't think it's a bad flavor, do you? You think it's very salty. Okay. Well, I apologize. He's the one who's the person who doesn't like super salty stuff. I'm going to add a little more to this. So if it had about half the amount of salt in it, would that be okay, or would that still be too much? Well, there is ketchup in the burger, dear. All right, there you go. Well, he said he can hide the saltiness with ketchup and mustard. I don't know if you guys can hear that. So, I'll see if I can get 3 of them. So yeah, apparently too salty, Christy. But I like it. Do you want pepper jack cheese on yours? Well, if you've got some and you want to bring it to me when I flip these, I'll put your cheese on there. So, yeah, T guy, I need your help. Or Mr. 513, either one of you. I need some help. Actually, I think I can do it. The ad blocker came up thing. And now I can't see anything. Okay, I think it's just got to be right there. Sorry, you guys, I can't see you right now. Wrong thing just popped up. I'm going to get a fresh flipper. So, hi, Grant. Hi, Lisa. We are currently making some veggie burgers. I like the flavor. They're a little salty that we made, but my husband said they're a little, like I said, they're a little salty for him. Ooh, again, a little overcooked on the one side for those, but I don't with it being beans, it's not like it's burnt. You know, it doesn't taste burnt, if that makes sense. But I am going to turn it down a little bit. I think having the little bit of oil in there was helpful. So there's that. And then pull out the Brussels. And they're looking still a little crunchy. Yeah, don't do that. Ah, fell out. Back on it. Take a breath. Things are not going the way I had hoped. All right, so we're going to pop that up to air fry. And we're going to air fry it for about 5 minutes. So, do you have a bun handy? Oh, do you want to put it? Do you have bread to put it on? Okay. All right. For me, provolone is my go-to if we've got it in the house. For Mr. 513, he is he's a pepper jack kind of guy. Pop that over and put that on there. And then, you got bread handy? Oh, thank you. Were you going to toast it? Okay. I'm going to do that. And then he's going to put pepper jack on his, plus whatever condiments he wants. And then for IT guy, he will get good old American. So, yeah, it's not burnt. It's just, it's dark. That's what we're going to call it. It's dark. So, anyway, I will tell you, if you're new here, we usually have more successes than this. So this is a first try on a veggie burger in my entire life. I've been cooking a long time, and this is the first time I've ever tried to make a veggie burger. So did not do my best work. You want to give me a bun for the kid? So that's the first try one. But definitely the oats helped, gave it some structure. So I'm going to show you his. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of this, because I think I could cook it up, but I don't know that anybody's going to really like it. And if it's not, then... So that's what it looks like. Came out pretty good. Actually does kind of look like a burger, so I'm not mad about that. And then got a couple more minutes, and we'll pull out the Brussels, and I'll let you know how those went. And I'll tell you how this is. I'm going to turn this off, and I'll let you know how this is with the cheese on it, because I think it's going to be good. Now, IT guy doesn't put any condiments generally on his burgers, so occasionally ketchup, but very rarely. I'm not mad about that. I like it. Actually, I think that did it. I think adding the oats in there gave it just enough structure that it's not a burger. I mean, let's be honest, it's not a burger. But I actually think I am going to cook the rest of those now. I'm going to put that back on. I do think the oil helps, but they got a nice flavor to them. They've, yes, they taste kind of like beans, which makes sense, right? Um, So did I get everybody? I did. Just want to make sure I said hi to everybody. So yeah, there you go. Would I do it differently? Yeah, I'd have to research it a little more to see if I can get a little more structure to it. A lot of recipes call for black beans, so I don't know if a kidney bean is just a little too creamy for this. Certainly wouldn't go for a butter bean because they're very creamy. But this might be something good for like to add a lentil, make it with lentils, because you can let those sit and dry out a little bit. Um, yeah, it's a veggie patty. So because it's got a little bit of ketchup in it, for me, I don't need anything on it, to be honest. Um, and I'm going to go ahead and put some more in there. No one's go to waste. And I will eat these. Now that we've got the texture a little more like something I would enjoy. It's got a little chew and a little texture to it, so that's nice. But you definitely don't want to make them like, if you're going to make them like this, I don't think you want them very thick, because then the middles don't get completely cooked. So, all right, let's see if these guys are ready. They look like it. I'm going to stir them up and see what we got. And I don't see my other, I'm annoyed. I don't see my other glove. Unless I left it in here. Yep, I did. All right. Now maybe if I have two hands, I can make this work. So, my apologies for, hey, at least I didn't swear. I'm going to call that a bit of a triumph, to be honest. All right, we're going to stir that up, see how these guys are. Yeah, they look dry, which is hilarious because they've got bacon all over them, but I'm going to try one of the smaller ones and see how we're doing there. Okay, so a very small one. That one's definitely cooked through. Now we'll get one that's a little bigger. These ones are still not cooked all the way through. Those are some tough Brussels sprouts, man. All right, let's get these guys flipped. Yeah, I can actually move these and flip them, which is nice. So that's great. Getting the hang of this thing. So that maybe that was it. I did need the structure, which the oatmeal seemed to do a really nice job with. So I mean, that's what the three of them look like flipped over. So I'm not mad about that. I'm gonna figure out what I did with my fork. I'm gonna finish this up real quick before I have to get these off there. I agree, Christy. If it doesn't go in, if you can find a way not to throw it in the trash, That's a success. And usually I can doctor it up enough. Like I said, the one time we had chicken with goat cheese in it and nobody liked it. That was the day we found out no one in our family likes goat cheese. So it is what it is. And we like lots of other kinds of cheeses, even some that are a little more on the strong side. But there's a funkiness to goat cheese that just wasn't for us. So that one went in the trash. Because the kids all said, please don't make us eat this. I love them. I was like, you don't have to. So, all right. Let's see if these are done. Maybe a few more minutes. I had turned them down, so. So now they look like burgers, or at least a little more like burgers. They look like a good veggie patty, let's put it that way. And they look better than some of the ones that I saw in the pictures. So. So like this one, I think that looks pretty good, man. It's got a burger feel to it, wouldn't you say? So. So I want to say something to you guys, and I know those of you who've been around a while are gonna totally get it. Um, just talked to some people this week that I know are struggling, and I think there's a lot of people in the world out there right now that are struggling. So as you go through your weekend, if you see somebody that's a little out of sorts, maybe give them a little bit of a break, give them a little bit of leeway, and think, wow, I wonder what they're struggling with right now. Because you have no idea. I mean, some people are struggling with big things right now. And like I said, just people that I know and love that I've talked to this week have some really big struggles. So please be kind. Please understand that not everybody has what you have. And I'm not saying you got to put up with anybody's abuse ever. But somebody's just cranky. Maybe let it slide a little bit. Or give them a smile. And yes, I know they may turn around and go, what are you smiling about? Been there, done that. But I don't know. Let's just make the world a better place this weekend. As one of the guys I follow called Dad Briefs, if you know him, he always says, be kind and wash your behind, which I think is hilarious. But I'm going to cook these guys up. Hopefully my Brussels are now ready. We'll throw some of that Parmesan cheese on it. So there you go. Look, we made it all. Woohoo! We didn't waste it. Which would have been a lot less money than if I wasted burgers, but still, I'm excited that we did not waste. And that, yes, I will eat this again. So, one more time on the Brussels here. Let's see how we did. Grab my fork. And yep. You know what? I am going to be careful about this. I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to sprinkle some Parmesan on these guys. They're yummy, by the way. Just the bacon. I mean, come on, right? So we're going to toss the Parmesan on there for the fam. And then I'm just going to pop them back in the warm oven and let that Parmesan melt for about 4 or 5 minutes. And that's it, guys. We've done it. We've made the Brussels. We've made the burgers. Delighted with. They were quite the disappointment on that first one, but flavor-wise, we had it. And then once we got the texture right, they're doing okay. I'm being impatient. I want to flip them, and they're not ready to flip. So anyway, yeah, it does. It goes a very long way. And I'm not saying you have to put up with abuse, because been there, done that, friends. And you may not understand that, but I've been through some abuse. It's probably why I appreciate Mr. 513 so much, because never once in 33 years, and it'll be 33 years this year, this month, never once in 33 years have I felt unsafe with him, around him, near him. And this is a man who can literally pick up another human being and throw them across the room. I know that because he's done it. Wasn't in his right mind when he did it. He's a type 1 diabetic, but never once with me, even in low sugar, was he ever the least. I was never the least bit scared with that man. So having not had that in my earlier life, I have to tell you folks, it is a precious thing. So be somebody's safe space. And I know that's an overused word, but you know what? If you can make somebody feel safe in this world, you're doing great work. You really and truly are. So anyway, that's my philosophical take on this Friday. I will be back on Monday. Again, we're going to make some homemade ziti, and we're not going to cook the pasta. Apologies to Christy, because I know she's Italian. So anyway, we're going to see how it goes. This is kind of an experiment as well. So I wish you guys the most wonderful rest of your day, an even better weekend. I'll be back at regular time, 3:30 Eastern on Monday, and would love it if you guys like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you on Monday. So eat well, be well, and I love you. Bye-bye.